Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride, and soon Miss Fanny Bright was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lame, misfortune seemed his lot. He got into a drifted bank and then we got upset. Oh, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Welcome to the JAMP Holiday Special. Wherever you are joining us from, we are so delighted that you're here. My name is Erin Aoyama, and I am the host for this afternoon. We hope that you all were able to enjoy, hopefully, a restful Thanksgiving yesterday, and were able to spend some time with loved ones, even if it needed to be virtually or socially distanced and outside. And we're so delighted that you're joining us today to celebrate, to reflect on the year that has been, but also to look ahead and to celebrate the holidays as a Japanese American community and beyond in this virtual setting. So we have so many wonderful things in store for you today, from music to arts and crafts to card making to cooking and baking, and to hearing from some wonderful authors and thinkers. So thank you for being here. And to kick us off, what better way to start than with some music from Kanji and Friends, followed by some arts and crafts.
Hello, my name is Kanji Sahara, and I'm the MC for this group. And we want to sing 3 holiday songs for you. Our first song is Jingle Bells. Could you lead us, Linda?
Dashing through the snow in one horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing away. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Okay, let me introduce the members of our group. First, we have on the top our Linda and Ted. Could you wave your hand? And then there's Marian. Could she wave her hand? And then Elaine and Bill. And Sue. And I'm Kanji. Okay. So, we've been performing at the adult daycare center in Torrance for many, many years. And right now, because of COVID-19, we're in a lockdown mode, so we're doing sing-along by Zoom. So for our next song, we want to do a favorite Hawaiian song called Milikilikimaka.
Milikilikimaka. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Milikilikimaka is a thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. That's the island dreaming that we send to you from the land where palm trees sway. Here we know that Christmas will be green and bright. The sun will shine by day and on stars at night. Milikilikimaka is Hawaii's way to say Merry Christmas to you. Milikilikimaka is a thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. That's the island greeting that we send to you from the land where palm trees sway. You may know that Christmas will be green and bright. The sun will shine by day and on stars at night. Milikilikimaka is Hawaii's way to say Merry Christmas, a very Merry Christmas, to say Merry Christmas to you.
Oh, that was nice. So for our final song, we like to sing the old-time favorite, Silent Night.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds wait, and the sun, glory streams from heaven afar. Heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, last pure light, radiant beams from thy Lord face, with the dawn of redeeming grace, Jesus, Lord, I know. Jesus, Lord,
Well, thank you. And Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Okay, bye.
From us to yours, happy holidays from the Nikkei Rising team.
Hi, I'm Abbey Kittaka, and today I'm going to show you how to make a macrame plant hanger. This is a super great gift idea. It doesn't take too long. You can really customize it however you want. So let's get started. Okay, so for the supplies you'll need for this, you will need a ring. It can be either a metal ring or a wooden ring, really anything you can find, and then cotton yarn. This is, I think, 3 millimeters, but you can do whatever range you want. This is a little bit thinner, and you can do whatever colors. You're going to do 6 strands and make those about 6 to 7 feet long. The first step is to take all 6 strands and fold them in half. So you'll now have 6 on each side. You'll take the loop, and what we're going to do first is called a lark's head knot. So you'll take the thread and the hoop. You'll put the loop through the ring. And all you're going to do is just pull all these threads through. And then pull to tighten. And that's a lark's head knot. So the first knot we will use to make the actual plant hanger is called a half spiral knot. So you're going to want to take 2 strings on each side, and you'll leave the rest hanging in the middle. And what you're going to want to do is take the left, make a 4 over the middle ones. Take this side, and we're going to go under all of these and pull through this loop. And then pull to tighten. And we'll just continue to do that. And it'll start to make a spiral. Okay, and then we'll do about 10 of these. The 10th knot, around 10. It's kind of up to you how long you want the spiral to go. Okay, the next step is we're going to split all 12 of these into 3 groups of 4. So we'll take 4 this side, 4 in the middle, and 4 on the right. And now instead of doing that knot over and over again, we're going to do a similar knot. This is called a square knot. So we'll take one of the 4, split it into 2 in the middle and 1 on each side. We're going to do that knot we just did with the 4 under and through the loop. And we're going to have this down a little bit lower around here to start making the different legs of the plant hanger. Now that we did that side, we're going to do a knot just like that, but the opposite side. So now we're going to make the 4 on the right, and then take this and go under and through the loop. And this makes it so the knot doesn't spiral and it keeps it flat. So we'll do about 4 or 5 of these. Go to the right side again. And then the left side. Right side. Okay, and then we'll continue and do matching with each of the groups of 4 strands. Okay, so when we have all 3 of these, as long as we want, you can make them however long you want based on how much thread you have. You can make it about the same size as the top spiral. We will now start to connect the different 3 legs so that we can make the basket part of the plant hanger. So you're going to take from 2 of the groupings, and we're going to again make groups of 4. So I will take 2 from this guy and 2 from this guy. And then once again, we are going to do this same knot, the square knot. We're going to leave a couple inches for space. And then taking the 2 in the middle, we're going to do a 4, go under and through, and make another square knot on the other side. And that's the square knot. And we're just going to do a couple more of these. We're not going to have as long because we're just kind of joining together the different threads. Okay. And we'll take the other 2 from this guy and join it to the 3rd. I'm going to take the 2 from this guy and join it to this. 2 in the middle. Then another couple square knots. Make sure it's the same length as the other side. So when you're finished with these square knots, you're going to just bundle these all together, and then about the same distance from this gap, we're just going to make a knot, just a regular old knot for the base of the plant hanger. Right there, pull tight. And now that you've made that knot, you can put your planter, or I have just a mason jar here, whatever holder you want to have for your plants. Put it in there. And there you have your plant hanger. And that's how you make a macrame plant hanger. You can experiment and try different colors, knots, and lengths. And I hope you have fun making this. Happy holidays.
Wow, thank you so much. That was wonderful. The perfect way to kick off this afternoon. Next, I hope you all saved some room in your stomachs. We have a cooking segment with Lisa K. Nakamura, followed by some arts and crafts with gathered designs.
My name is Lisa Nakamura. I grew up in Hilo, Hawaii, which is a tiny little town on the Big Island. Today, I am making Miyoshi Goto's Dangojiru. I spent many, many weekends of my childhood fishing with my grandmother, eating her food, and one of the things I'm going to make today is something that she used to make. So here's the tricky part. They didn't cook with recipes back then. They did everything by feel and by taste. So I'm going to be trying to give you some measurements, but I might have to fudge a little bit here and there, so just bear with me. Here we go. Let's start with making the dough. And like I said, I'm hunting here, so I'm going to do my very best. AP flour, all-purpose flour. They didn't have fancy bread flour or type 00 flour or pasta flour. She just used regular all-purpose flour. So I'm going to put in a couple cups in the bowl, like so. And then I'm going to add, it's probably going to be about a cup of water, and I'm going to stir it in. I have some really great stories and recollections of my grandmother going to visit the neighborhood fish pond, and how the green turtle would come up to see her because he knew, or she knew, I don't know, I can't tell the sex of a turtle, that she would have papaya scraps and vegetable scraps, and she would toss it in the water, and the puffer fish would come by, and it was really enchanting. She was also a fisher, so she'd take us with bamboo poles and frozen squid as bait, and we would go fishing, either early in the morning or just as the sun was setting. And we would try to catch opapalu. And what we're trying to do is to get the dough to be silky and smooth. And you can add a little flour. And when you're kneading, same goes for bread. You don't want to put your fist or the heel of your hand through the dough and make a donut. Okay? You're trying to stretch this part of the dough and keep it intact. You need a good amount of enthusiasm, but don't get over enthusiastic. And you'll see the dough start to change in appearance. Right now it looks a little dry and rough, but the more you knead, it'll actually start to look smoother and shinier. My grandmother was, I think she came up to here on me, so she was really tiny. And I'm on my tippy toes, actually, because the counter's a little high. So I'm imagining like my grandmother should be kneading and she'd be like this. But she was a powerhouse, and she managed to feed and discipline and raise 5 kids. So definitely getting smoother. I'm going to give it just another minute. And feels like my earlobe, feels like my earlobe. And we need to let it relax just a little bit. Keep the air off of it. Okay, so now we're going to make the soup. This is water. We're going to add a little bit of hondashi. And remember that I'm adding Spam, which is really salty, which is why it's so great, of course. So maybe you add just a little bit less of the dashi. Okay. And of course, I feel like it's a commercial for Spam, but you can really tell who's like from Hawaii because we have this love for this food. And yes, when I was growing up, we used to do things like the Spam ham, cut it down, put a couple of cloves, stick a couple of cloves in it, pineapple ring, put some guava jelly glaze on it. And if you're from Hawaii and you deny that you do that, you're lying. I know you did that. Okay, and now we're going to let this simmer just to get the beautiful Spam flavor out and the salt. Now we're going to add our karashina or kai choy, and I've already washed them. This is different from what you might find in other grocery stores labeled mustard greens. It's not the same thing. This is mustard cabbage. Very sharp in flavor. The flavor does get toned down once you cook it. Very delicious, very healthy for you. Or at least that's what my father always told us. So we have that going. Then we're going to add some carrots. And at this point, you can add whatever vegetable you want. You can add takenoko or bamboo shoots if you'd like. Celery, I don't know. Sky's the limit. You can add whatever you feel makes you feel good. I have to admit, this is already fancier than my grandmother. She didn't add carrots. It was basically mustard, cabbage, and spam and noodles. And there you go. I'm going to finish it with green onions. And then the last thing I'm going to add, and this we're going to put on the top because the color is so pretty, is kamaboko. And I'm going to add that to the soup just before I serve it. Now, that's all done, and we can roll the noodles. Okay, so now we've had the dough resting for about an hour. You can see how already it's become much more relaxed and pliable. A little bit of flour. You want to make sure that soup is boiling because it has to be hot when the noodles go in. And we're going to roll out the dough. And remember how I said you can see the dough change in appearance, how it becomes silky. And if you look at it, it's much silkier now than when I first started, when I just added the water. And if you could feel it, it feels like satin right now. Grandmother would, or Bachan, well, she didn't use a pizza cutter, she used a knife, but we're fancy today, so we're gonna use a pizza cutter. Or as they would say in Hawaii, haikara. And this is where the kids would come in. We'd start stretching the noodles. And so we're stretching them by hand. And the object is to get them as thin as possible without breaking them. I think it's amazing that every culture has some sort of noodle, a dumpling, and a flatbread, when you think about it. And every culture has some grandma somewhere in history making all this delicious food. And when you eat it, you're brought back to some faraway place where everything was good and you knew that life was good, life was kind. I think that's why I keep trying to recreate what my grandmother cooked. Stir it around a little. We're gonna let that cook up. And it cooks really quickly. Once the noodles go in the water, it's done in about 5 minutes or so. And you'll know because the noodles they'll just look different. They'll look cooked. I wish you could smell it. It smells really cool. It smells like grandma's house. Kamaboko. And always odd numbers, never 4. 4 is bad luck. Really, really bad luck. We're going to drizzle it with a little bit of toasted sesame oil. And a little bit of green onions. There you go. So again, this is Miyoshi's Dangojiru. And I hope that you try making it. And when you do make it, say hi to Grandma for me. Really brings home a lot of memories. And I'm just really happy to share it with y'all.
Hi guys, we're Nicole and Wilma with Gather Designs. We're so thankful for the Japanese American Memorial Pilgrimages for inviting us to be part of this holiday special and just share with you some kind of crafts, and so we're excited to be here. My mom, Wilma here, she is third generation Japanese Canadian, and we started this business about 3 years ago. I think we're entering into our third year this holiday season. And what my mom does is she makes these origami crane ornaments, and then also she makes these cards. I kind of help with the cards a little bit, but mostly it's her. And then recently we just started adding these Furoshiki cloth wrappings to wrap gifts and different things like that. We just added that to our product line, and we're excited about it. And so these ones actually here are like hand dyed with botanical dyes. I believe this one's dyed with avocado and this one is dyed with acorns, and it actually has leaves printed on it, and it's made locally here in Salt Lake by my next door neighbor. And so yeah, we just wanted to stay connected to our Japanese heritage. We're very proud of our culture, and just feel like this day and age, it's not just this day and age, but because we don't necessarily have a lot of Japanese family close by or anything like that, that sometimes it's easy to forget about culture and traditions and things like that. And so we started this business to help bring traditional Japan, like these origami cranes, to our modern day, and just have those in our lives and help us to share our Japanese culture with other people, but also help Japanese Americans, Japanese Canadians, people that don't live in Japan. So I guess the Nikkei community, to stay connected to our Japanese heritage and culture. And I will just hand it over to my mom, and she can tell us a little bit about our Japanese history, our heritage as far as coming from Japan. And then we are going to show you how to wrap some things. So take it away, Mom.
So I'm Wilma, and I am Japanese Canadian, and all my extended family is still up in Canada. Both my grandparents came from Japan. My mom's dad came when he was only 16 years old by himself, and he did fight for Canada during World War I, and he was injured during that time. And he fought on Vimy Ridge, which in Canada is a very significant event in war history. He came back, and he was a cook, and he actually worked for the Prince of Wales on the Prince of Wales ranch that he had in Alberta. Him and my grandmother lived there and started their family there with the Prince of Wales ranch, and then moved further south in southern Alberta and started a successful farming business, which my extended family still runs. Also during the 70s, his farming techniques he really did well with irrigation farming, and the Prime Minister of Canada actually came to visit his farm and spent the day there. And that was the first Prime Minister, Trudeau, of Canada. And then on my dad's side of the family, of course, they came over when his parents were young also, but their history is a little bit different in the sense that my dad's family was actually interned in Canada, and a lot of Americans don't know that Canada did do the internment also. My dad was about 10 years old when they had to leave British Columbia, and also unfortunately had to leave his mom also in British Columbia because she was sick and wasn't able to travel back with the family. And so he did not have a mom at a young age. She unfortunately passed away there. And instead of having a lot of internment camps in Alberta, they did have one somewhere, but I'm not familiar with it. But they actually put the Japanese on farms to work and put them in poor living conditions. And my dad talks about when his oldest brother went to visit his mom in British Columbia, the conditions where they had her were so awful that it wasn't something that you'd even want to put animals in. And I think that influenced his decision to become a physician so that he could help other people. And him and my mom had a clinic in our small farming community and had a nice positive impact. My mom is still alive at 94 and doing well. And they brought us up with our families, extended family, and a lot of Japanese traditions on New Year's and getting together, also making cranes at a very young age. And so that was something that was natural for me to start making and to just do something to remember. So very proud to be Japanese. So let's learn to wrap something.
Okay, sounds good. So first we're gonna go ahead and we'll wrap a book. Take it away. This is gonna be our first wrapping, and it's just a basic wrap, but it's cute. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I'm not familiar with all these wrappings, but Nicole showed me this just before we started taping. So I will wrap it to show how obviously it's an easy technique.
Anyone can do
it. So I'll just fold the corner in, keep flipping it around until come to an end. I think on this side though, I'm just so it doesn't hang over. I'm just gonna fold it, tuck that corner in, and then just fold these bits so it makes it a little bit nicer. And then fold it across. I could tie it here, but I'm gonna add a little extra. I'm gonna wrap it around and then tie a knot here on the top.
And so this wrap this wrap style, along with about 15 others, I believe. Careful, so strong. We actually learned there's a PDF from the Japanese Ministry of Environment, and as they're promoting just like Japanese culture, as well as sustainability, being sustainable. And so when you're using these cloths, you can reuse them, and when you give them to people, it's not just like wrapping paper that's going to go in the trash or some sort of plastic bag that's going to end up like going in the landfill. And so that's another plus about it. But here's how to make it add just a little bit more to it.
This is good as it is. Give it as a gift, but also you can just add little accents in here just to kind of add the little extra, as Japanese like to do.
And so this one, we actually bought it, this little pine cone thing. We got it from Michael's, and it's super cute and looks nice. But also, before I had wrapped some, and I really just pulled some like little branches with leaves off of a bush in my backyard, and it also looked nice. So there's that. And now we'll have Che. Che, if you want to come in here. This is one of our ornaments, and so this is just a 3x3 cube. So
so I just turn it slightly off center for the corners, and then I pull one corner over the center, and then I pull the other one, and then you can also tuck it before. I don't do it because it seems like a lot
extra work.
And I'm just going to be folding these edges in like before, and then pulling it up like this. And just do a little knot. Now you can do a double knot. And there you go. Just a little cute little wrap. And yeah.
Thanks for coming on to our little news segment. No, but you just learned how to fold this today, right? And now you know it for life. So
just like once you fold a crane, you know it for life.
I mean, sometimes I've forgotten when it's been a minute, but overall, yeah. So now we'll show you. I really do feel like it's like an infomercial. Now look at this, but wait, there's more. So you can like do round things, and you can also tie these up and like kind of use it as like a tote bag. But as far as like round things for basketball, it's just kind of, I don't know, for any of you giving like balls, like sports balls, like a gift this holiday season, it's just kind of fun because they usually come in like those
like a plastic, like a cardboard, like a square thing, but then it still has the ball kind of shape on the edges and it's rounded. But I think this just looks kind of a lot more fun and cute.
I can't even tell what it is.
It could be a soccer ball, or you never know. But it's tied up a couple of times. But see, I mean, with these cloths, it's a pretty good size. You can wrap some large items, and these ones here are 29 inches by 29 inches. And I believe that the smaller one here that shaded is a 17 inch by 17 inch probably. Yeah, and so, yeah. Oops, sorry about that. It's a good size variation. And then for our finale, we want to do something that's like a little bit more fun. So if you're gonna be gifting like some sparkling drinks or some wine or anything like that. Oh, sorry. This table just this one's good enough. But this is kind of fun way to display this. Or if you're like going to dinner, you can start wrapping it.
Okay.
Yeah, just wrap it over there. If you're going to like dinner at someone's house and want to bring a housewarming gift, this is easy, quick and easy. It also looks cute. Oh, you got this other one.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Bring it up. And do your double knot.
So just like that.
Just like that. Carry it safely.
Yeah, so we will be on our website. We'll have these 29 by 29 cloths that are 100% cotton. We'll have these on our website as well as some other fabrics and different sizes as well. But with the packaging comes the PDF file from the Japanese Ministry of the Environment, and so you'll have like there you'll have a chart on how to fold different things, and then you can also Google a lot of things, and there's a lot of tutorials, and it's just fun and different. And again, I guess we have maybe not add foliage onto this one, but yeah, you can just add little things like a ribbon or a card, and too much yeah, and it just adds a lot. It looks so cute. So I don't know, is there anything else that you want to add, Mom?
No, just thank you, and have a happy holiday.
Safe and happy holiday. And yeah, again, we're so thankful for the Japanese American Memorial Pilgrimages and all the great content and events and things that they're doing. Make sure to keep following them, and thank you. Bye. Bye.
Happy holidays from
Minidoka National Historic Site!
Yay!
Happy holidays, everyone! All right, more deliciousness ahead. In this segment, we are so excited to have Jordan Nakamura and Aaron Mochizuki of Hānai Brothers here for some cooking. And we also have a really important message from the folks at Tonari Gumi Japanese Community Volunteers Association based in Canada about 2 books that you can purchase, and the proceeds from your purchase will go to support a very important cause.
My name is Eric Mochizuki. I am a catering chef at Expedia headquarters here in Seattle. And
I'm Jordan Nakamura, partners with Mochi over here. We're going to be doing a business plan and getting that rolling out through our company called the Hānai Brothers. So what Hānai means in Hawaiian is like brother from another, you know, sister from another mister.
Figured take a general manager and a chef and put them together. We can open up a very good business together. Our concept is going to be Pan-Asian home comfort cooking. So it's going to be revolved a lot about different Asian aspects, different Asian concepts.
With that being said, we grew up eating ozoni, and ozoni is a traditional Japanese dish, and it's usually eaten during like New Year's as a celebratory, like good luck and good fortune and happiness.
It's a mochi ball stew, if you will. But this is made in a variety of different ways. They make it with azuki beans, they make it with miso. There's different types of ozoni because in different types of regions of Japan, they make it differently. So today I think the closest version we're doing today is the Kansai region. So it's going to be a miso-based mochi soup, basically. So yeah, so we're just going to get started. We have napa, we have some carrot, some pork belly going in. We have some mochi squares, and we have some boiled taro, and we're gonna see how well this turns out.
Yeah. We'll put this in right now to kind of get it going. And then we have two separate waters. So then we have the satoimo water, which will have all the starch in it, and we'll strain that so it doesn't go into the broth. And then we're just going to cut the onion into julienne cuts. And then we're going to saute them and caramelize them right after the pork gets done. So we'll have all that flavor kind of marrying together.
So we're kind of making like a dashi, if you will, for this the base of this soup, with some kelp, napa, carrot. What else are we putting there?
Onions, satoimo, put in the pork, and then the mochi will be the garnish and the star of the show after it's kind of put together.
What you mean? What are you signing me up for?
So we got here is hondashi. It's like the umami of a stock, and it's pretty much just dried fish fillets. It could come in any forms. It could come in powder, which is this one, and it comes in flakes, another version. And we'll use about a tablespoon as the base. And then we'll put in these kelp knots as the kombu, where lots of the umami comes from. And they're nice knots, so they'll come out nice looking. So memi is just a common soup-based stock that's used for a lot of dishes. And we're going to use it to kind of expand the profile of the broth. And we'll put about 3 tablespoons in. All right, then we got some shiro miso, which is a white miso base. And then we're gonna put half a tablespoon in at a time until the water starts boiling. And then we will start tasting it.
I'm cutting this just like a 1/4 of an inch. This is just gonna be a very quick saute.
And what we're doing is we're frying this up to seal in the flavor and the fat. And then when you put it in, it won't lose all of its umami. And then you start to know when the satoimo is getting close to being ready, when it starts to float. And then you can just use your hashi and kind of stab a little bit and it should just go right through it. So I'm gonna add a little bit more dashi and to kind of give it some more depth of flavor, kind of add some more smokiness to it. Help balance the dish out. Okay, ready?
I'm not gonna put all of it. I got 2 down to do it. When's the last time you had ozoni?
And I probably have to say New Year's last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
That's a lie. We had oden last year.
Yeah, oden and ozoni is different though.
I know, but we had oden last year, didn't we? You didn't make ozoni.
I didn't. Well, my mom.
Oh, your mom.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. He's such a liar. We spent New Year's Eve together.
I cooked everyday food, traditional, what my grandma taught me growing up, and I really, it was very special to the heart. So we did, seared salmon nigiri, we did toro, maguro, oden. What else did we do?
There was so much food.
I can't even remember.
And there was only like 3 of us. there was a lot of food.
That was actually the first time I taught my brother how to make nigiris, and it was like every bite was a surprise because you put way too much wasabi in it.
You put like a tablespoon of wasabi on each little piece.
It just goes straight up your nose and it just hurt. So all of us would just be crying at one time.
We all had clear sinuses for New Year's is what we got. This is going.
And you start to know when the broth's getting close there, when the kombu starts to kind of fall apart and flake, and the broth gets a little bit more rich in color. And then now that the sautemo is ready, we're going to strain the water. We're not going to use it to put into the soup because it has all the starches in it. It's like the ozoni is coming to a boil, so we'll turn it down, let it simmer, and then we will add in the satoimo. And then what we're gonna do is just make a side sauce for the mochi, and we're just gonna use just about a tablespoon of brown sugar, and then we'll get the aloha soy. We like using aloha soy because it's not as salty as kikkoman, but if you like to use kikkoman, you just put a little bit of water to kind of take the salinity down. All right, and then now we're gonna add in the caramelized onions with the pork belly. This will be the protein element of the dish. All right, we got our ozoni finished and ready and plating. And we could use, like, I like to eat the mochi with brown sugar and show you. I don't really like mochi to begin with, but I like eating it separate.
Japanese are you? Don't like the mochi.
Yeah.
Bam.
All right.
Ozoni.
Again, my name is Jordan Nakamura. This is my business partner, Mochi. We're going to be opening up the Hānai Brothers in May of 2021. Potentially going to be in the Renton Landing. So keep on the lookout for us, and please come and join our Hānai family and the food that we're going to be able to offer.
Yes. Join our ohana.
Yes. Thank you guys.
No problem.
Oh no. Okay.
Who's coming over tomorrow?
This guy, anyway.
You get to try our Hānai steak.
I'm so excited. So excited.
You guys gonna eat tomorrow again?
Yeah.
Yep.
You're gonna cater my weight.
I know, but 2 days in a row you get to eat? I don't know, Chad. You're gonna get spoiled.
That's why I hang around Marissa.
He's mental.
So we're not doing an outro?
Oh, sorry. Oh my god.
Long day,
It's been a day. It's been a day.
Hello, if you like Japanese food, here are 2 amazing locally produced cookbooks. Our Edible Roots, the Japanese-Canadian Kitchen Garden, and Home Away from Home, the Vancouver Tonari Gumi cookbook. Normally $20 each. Currently, we have a Black Friday special offer. Buy 2 books for $35 plus GST and shipping, a $5 saving for 2 unique cookbooks that connect you to great Japanese food. For our American friends, these prices are all in cheap Canadian dollars, and you don't need to pay our GST. We even have a special spot on our webpage where U.S. visitors can place their orders. Our Edible Roots is both a gardening guide and a cookbook. and is highly recommended for home gardeners, foodies, and others. The Home Away from Home cookbook is a bestseller in its 4th printing, with over 70 delicious home-style Japanese and fusion dishes. Just order online at tonarigumi.ca/shop. We ship to everywhere in Canada and to the US. All proceeds go to support Tonarigumi's programs and services to assist isolated and vulnerable seniors. For those not familiar with Tonarigumi, in 1942, some 22,000 Japanese Canadians living along coastal British Columbia were uprooted from their homes and jobs and placed in work camps, interior internment camps, or sugar beet farms in Alberta and Manitoba. After 1949, many Japanese Canadians, including first-generation Issei, made their way back to the coast and Vancouver. The task of starting their lives over after the war proved overwhelming for many of the Issei. The seeds of Tonarigumi, the Japanese Community Volunteers Association, were planted in 1974 when some young Japanese Canadians and Japanese immigrants volunteered to provide services for these isolated and vulnerable seniors. It was from these early beginnings that we began to be called Tonarigumi, or our neighborhood association in Japanese. One of the most popular Tonarigumi services is the Homestyle Lunches for Seniors program. In 2016, with the rising cost of food for the seniors' lunches, the Tonarigumi Garden Club was asked if they could grow fresh vegetables to offset some of the costs, especially for the Japanese vegetables that tended to be more expensive. At that time, we were gardening in our tiny raised community garden. This request meant we needed to find more space, more volunteers, and more knowledge. We thought we could simply find local Japanese Canadian farmers and other resources to help us grow more successfully. What we found was that many of these local farmers had passed away, and there was a missing link to this knowledge. We relentlessly gathered what information we could from a few of the remaining farmers and home gardeners. In addition, we applied for funding to capture this information and the stories of our pioneers in a book. Our Edible Roots, the Japanese Canadian Kitchen Garden, offers instructions for sourcing seed, growing instructions, simple recipes featuring these vegetables, plus some of the stories of our elders. The Home Away from Home cookbook is a compilation of some of the favorite recipes of our Japanese Canadian seniors that they wanted to pass down to the next generation. This book has become a bestseller, and we are now into our 4th printing with more than 4,000 copies already sold. Growing Japanese vegetables can connect us to our history, our stories, and our roots. Learning to prepare our own versions of our traditional foods brings us closer together and connects us as a community. Both our Edible Roots and Home Away from Home make great Christmas gifts. Take advantage of this sale and order our books now. At the same time, you'll be helping the vulnerable and isolated seniors within our community. Remember, www.tonarigumi.ca/shop. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hey everyone, my name is Buscher from Tadaima Virtual Pilgrimage, and I'm going to show you how to make a holiday cocktail that I like. This is a pretty simple cocktail. We're just going to be using bullet bourbon, ginger beer, and apple cider together with some ice in a tumbler glass, and then we're just going to have a slice of apple for garnish. Start by putting 3 ice cubes into a tumbler glass. Next, we're going to take the bourbon. We're going to use the large measuring size on the cocktail jigger. Pour that to the fill line on top of the ice. Next, we're going to take our ginger beer. I'm using the Stoli brand premium ginger beer, but anyone will do. You're also going to fill the large size of the cocktail jigger. Pour that in there. Last, what we're going to do is take our sweet apple cider, and we're going to pour it up to the top of the glass here. Give it a quick stir with your bar spoon. And last, we're going to garnish it with a slice of the apple. So the apple core makes sort of a star shape, and what you're going to do is just cut one side of it so that we get a wedge that we can then garnish on the side of the drink. If you like, you can also add a cinnamon stick for garnish. Happy holidays and kanpai!
On behalf of the Jerome Rohwer pilgrimage, I would just like to wish everybody a happy holiday season. I hope everyone stays safe and healthy, and hopefully we can meet again next year for another pilgrimage, probably not in April though. I also would like to take this moment to remember Kay Garling Roberts. Kay Garling Roberts was one of the curators at the World War II Japanese American Internment Museum in Nikkei, Arkansas. And she passed away suddenly last month. So I would just like to have us all remember Kay, and those who met her knew that she was a very wonderful woman, and we will all miss her sorely.
Wow. Thank you so much, Jordan and Aaron and the folks at Tonari Gumi Japanese Community Volunteers Association. We at JAMP hope you appreciated that surprise appearance by Rob Buscher, everyone's favorite bartender. In this next segment, something for those of you with a sweet tooth out there, we have a segment, Baking with Amy. And then for those of you hoping to stay in touch this winter, I hope many of you will, with each other, with loved ones, with us at JAMP, send us a card. We have some card making with Ginny.
Hello, I'm Maki Fujishige. I am a yonsei from Los Angeles, California, now residing in Seattle, Washington. And today I'm here with my daughter, Abigail's son, and we are going to make strawberry daifukus with mochiko and anko and some lovely strawberries. These are the ingredients that we'll be using: sugar, mochiko, strawberries, water, and anko. This is readily available at Japanese supermarkets. You'll need some cling wrap and a wooden spoon and spatula. So I moved here from Seattle in 2004 because of my husband's job situation. He was hired, and so we moved from Northern California. And we love it here, actually, in Seattle. It's very nice. So we're going to start on the Daifuku mochi. The mochi is just a few ingredients: sugar, mochiko flour, and water. And we're going to mix that up. Now, Abigail is now mixing the mochiko and sugar and water together. And then we'll put this in the microwave for about 1 minute and bring it out and then stir it to make sure everything is incorporating. And we're going to keep doing that a minute and then bring it out and stir again until it's translucent. Now this is about after a minute in the microwave. It's very malleable, and Abigail's stirring it now. After it's well incorporated, see how it's starting to look a little bit like shiny? That's how you know it's starting to get pulled together. So we'll need to put that in for another minute or so. So while we wait for that to cook for another minute, so the story, my grandmother moved here. Actually, she was born here, but moved back to Japan because she lost her mother, and her father, my grandfather, or my great-grandfather, was unable to raise her himself. So he sent her back to Japan to be raised by her aunt. And so she grew up and stayed there until she was about 18, at which point she was arranged marriage with my grandfather, and she immigrated back to the U.S. And got married and was living a happy life in Northern California. And then World War II happened, and they were incarcerated at Tool Lake, and where she stayed there for quite a few years. At that point, she had a son and daughter, and fell pregnant with my mother while she was incarcerated there, with my grandfather, of course. And after the war ended, they decided to move back to Japan to regroup. And fortunately, my grandfather was fluent in English, so he was able to get a job at the U.S. base in Kyushu, and was able to feed the family. And it was a big deal back then to find a job. There was no food, and there were no jobs. So it was hard to get by, but they were there for another 20 years, at which point his grown children decided to immigrate back to the U.S. And the kids moved back to the U.S. Everyone found their partners and got married. And then my grandparents decided to move back as well. And so all the kids were back here. And so here we go. We're going to go with the continuation of the Daifuku. So this is after 2 minutes. And, ooh, it's starting to come together really well. How's it feel, Abigail?
It's a lot thicker than it was before.
Yeah. So now that the mochiko is ready, nice and glossy, we are going to put it together with the anko. And we are now shaping them, getting them ready. We're going to start with 6 pieces today. So we're rounding off. This is about 30 grams of anko per ball. Abigail is working it in her palms. A good tip would be to wet your hands when you're making the balls. That way they don't stick to your hands. So now that the mochiko's in, I just liberally dusted the pastry mat with potato starch, potato flour. And we're now going to cover this so it's easier to handle. It's very, very sticky, just to let you know. And I'm going to put this into a little disc so that we can cut this into 6 equal pieces. Do this. There we go. Then I'm going to flatten these out into a disc. We actually want the edges to be pretty thin because they're going to all meet up at the very top. So the middle doesn't need to be so thin, it's just the edges need to be thin. And we're going to make 6 of those. Anytime it starts getting a little bit too tacky, go ahead and put the potato starch. So here we're putting the uncle around the strawberry. Press the strawberry in. And the uncle around. So I kind of like to leave the very tip open because when you put this over, it's really pretty. Like the red shows through. It's kind of like a blush. Down it goes. Oh, there we go. Ichigo Daifuku. So Ichigo Daifuku is a modern interpretation of Daifuku. Daifuku usually is mochi and anko. And it could be any kind of anko, the sweet red bean. It could be a red bean, it could be a white bean, it can be a green bean. But yeah, the bean is cooked with sugar and then mashed through a sieve. Sometimes they just mash it roughly. This one is the more rough type. But the modern interpretation brings in elements of fruit. So it gives it a very nice, refreshing quality, not just a cloying sweetness. So we'll cut into one. There we go. Ichigo Daifuku. Here's the final product, Ichigo Daifuku with tea. Enjoy. I hope you make it at home. Happy holidays.
From Pearl Harbor National Memorial and Honolulu National Historic Site. Don't forget to join us for our educational program December 4th through the 6th.
Hi, my name is Ginny Yamamoto Syfax. I live in Elk Grove, California. I've been card making for a few years now. I got a lot of positive feedback from my family and friends who received my cards, and they said I should start selling it. But most recently, and probably the last, maybe just a couple years, I really connected with my Japanese roots, and I started making Asian themed cards. And so that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to make a version of this card, I should say. So I got this die cut and this stamp and the koi that I'm going to be using tonight, all from Hanko Designs. And I do get some of my Chiogami paper from there, but some of them not. So let's get started. So basically you need to start with a card base. And I don't buy the pre-made card bases because they tend to be a little bit flimsy. So I get 110 pound cardstock and I make my own. So what I do is I go like that, cut it in half, because I'm basically getting a 5.5 by 8.5, but it's going to end up being a 4 1/4 by 5.5 card. And I'm going to use that and my handy dandy pencil to find the center at 4 1/4 and do a little hashtag. And make the score for the center of the card. And then Fold over. Using my bone folder, I'm going to make a nice good crease. And there you go. There's my card base. Simple. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I already put some of the double stick tape to most sides, but I'll just show you the one side just to show you what I do. I'm just going to go down that. Okay. Now I'm going to rabbit ear the corners just up on each corner. This is a little trick. I use a double stick tape because it's a lot stronger than your tape runners, or glue will warp your paper. Okay, now you gotta make sure you don't put it upside down like I was just almost did. So I do it like this because I can actually eyeball it properly in the center. Once I do, I just firmly press down, pull the tape. I'm going to adhere my arigato. And voila, we have a finished fish. Now, like on this one, I actually use 2 different colors. So I used the red and the black, and then left some white. So, because there are, some kois with the calico looking colors. So here's what I'm going to do with this. This is called Mizushiki cord. And I get my Mizushiki cord and some of my Chiyogami paper in San Francisco at the Paper Tree in J-Town. Right there, that's where I want him. Okay, now I'm going to take my foam adhesive. So foam adhesive gives dimensional to your cards because it's a little thick. Okay, so now I'm going to place my little koi on here. A little more pressure on it. There's the outside. And then to finish it off on the inside, and there you go. Arigato. Thank you. See how simple that is? Here's the card I showed you earlier. Here's some cards I made earlier too. So this is a sympathy card. I just wanted it very simple. This is also a die cut from Henko Designs with the Chiyogami paper on the inset. This one I made just a couple days ago. This is actually a stamp. My friend showed me this stamp, and of course I had to have it because of the kimono. And then again, I stamped on the Chiyogami paper, and then I cut out each section. So each of these sections here are cut out of the Chiyogami paper, every single thing. So that was a little time consuming. This is just with my markers. This is hand cut out of the Chiyogami paper. In the crafting world, we call it fussy cutting because it's fussy to cut it. And then painted, and then put some shimmer to her hair, and then the Chiyogami paper again up here. And this one says, thank you. And then thank you for your thoughtfulness. So there it is. And if you have any questions, you're also free to email me, ask me questions. But thank you very much, Greg, Kimiko, and Marissa, for inviting me to this holiday weekend of yours. Thank you. Have a great day.
Hello, and thank you for tuning into the JAMP Holiday Special. I'm here to talk about our zine that's going to come out in February 2021. We are now collecting articles, poems, photography, art, anything you can think of, ads, all that stuff. We're here. This is what we created last year, and we hope that you guys support us. And if for more information, click the link below, but it's info@jampilgrimages.com. So if you'd like to be a part of our community, let me know. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Amy and Ginny, for sharing those delicious treats and your beautiful cards with us. Up next, we have even more culinary delights, because what is a holiday celebration as a community without lots of food? So we have Cooking with Fuj, aka JAMP's very own Marissa Fujimoto, and her grandmother Nancy, followed by Baking with Matthew Kittaka, which for those of you who tuned into Tadaima this summer, you maybe saw one of Matthew's segments. We're so excited to have him back with us. So please enjoy.
Hi, I'm Marissa Fujimoto, co-founder of the Japanese American Memorial Pilgrimages, and I'm here with my grandma.
Hi.
And we are going to make nishime. Well,
Right.
yeah.
Well, to start off, though, we have to let them know what this tradition was, right? So in 1972, I wanted to start up a celebration of New Year's on New Year's Day. So I decided to write up some menus and cook whatever from the cookbook. And one of the dishes is traditional for Japanese is nishime, which is a Japanese stew. So today I am going to teach my granddaughter how to do it.
I know, because all I do is just watch her and then eat the food.
Not
That's my
even
thing.
watch. I think you just came to eat.
Wow, way to call me out. But yeah, sure, that's what I do. I show up with an empty stomach.
That's right, exactly. So to start off with, we'll slice up the meat, about a half a pound of pork.
Okay.
I'm going to start the fire under here as soon as she's done not cutting her fingers.
Thank you.
Slice it as thin as you
And I'm
can.
not a professional in any way.
But that's
Please don't
okay. Be
judge.
careful, it's very slippery. So
It is kind of slippery.
So we put our pork in first and get it going. In the meantime, what we can do is we can cut our next step. We have the mushrooms in there, soaked in water.
Okay.
And you want to slice it or make it stew size. So just cut it around. The core is really hard. So yeah, that's perfect. Oh, you can take over already.
I can take over? Oh, I'm not ready for that. Mom didn't have to take over until she was 50.
I know, and she still doesn't cook.
Sorry, Mom.
Once the pork is pinkish, then our next step is
water.
Water.
Cup and a half. Okay.
Mushroom.
Mushroom.
Yep.
Okay.
And aburage, which is this, and you have to slice that one there. You can dump the ones in there. Just slice it up, just like that.
Put that in there. So you have to soak this?
Yeah.
What is this?
It's kombu.
Kombu.
Yeah, seaweed.
And then just stick the whole thing in there?
Yeah, not the water though, just the kombu. Okay. You have to soak it because it's dry.
Oh, when you buy it,
Yeah, when you buy it, it's dry.
And
that's it.
Wait, all
Yep.
of it, right?
Yep, all of it. Let that cook for about 10 minutes. In the meantime, we can cut up our takenoko. It's a bamboo shoot.
All of them? There's like 3.
Well, yeah, just 2. 2's good.
2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cut it stew size pieces like the carrots. Yeah, just smaller.
Smaller? Okay.
No. I mean, that's okay, but cut this in thirds. Yeah.
Oh, in thirds? Okay.
Yeah. This will cook for about 10 minutes. Yep, perfect.
Oh my gosh. Not even at all. It's okay.
And then we'll prep our burdock root right here. We call this gobo in Japanese. And burdock root, for some reason, it turns brown if you don't soak it in water. So slice it like that on the bias. Don't cut your fingers. This knife's sharp.
Oh man, the pressure.
Slippery too. So.
This is the fish cake.
Fish cake, yep.
That's good. All right.
Yep, slice it up just like that. Thinner the better.
All right. Look at that.
Super duper. You're doing great. And then we add our seasoning. So we're going to wait 10 minutes. So fast forward.
Well, no, not fast forward.
Cut it in half.
Cut it in half?
Half this way.
Oh, this way? Long way?
Yeah, long way.
Okay.
Cut it in half again, long way. And then just in half. And then
Okay.
The long way half. Yeah. And then go look like this. Okay.
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 Cool. Okay.
Let's cut.
Yeah.
This is called a daikon.
Gotta cut this?
Yep.
How do I? Just right in the middle?
Be careful.
Peter.
Cut it in half.
Yeah.
Careful. Yep.
Okay.
And then cut it in thirds. So it's going to be stew-sized pieces, just like
Oh,
that.
just like that one?
Yep.
Okay.
There's no uniformity to it. Just
I like that because I can't cut straight. Okay. Oops, it's flying away.
Japanese stew.
This is cool.
This is daikon.
So-
It's radishes. It's like those little red radishes,
Mhm.
but they're bigger. In
Nice.
fact, they grow like about this long. So
Did you learn how to make this from great grandma?
I just looked it up in the recipe.
That's
I
nice.
did. Yeah, I just looked it up.
Grandma is super tech savvy, so she can look up any recipe and email and text and send emojis. She's
Oh, you saw that?
super hip.
Okay.
Okay.
Carrots has to be chopped up.
All
just
right.
like that.
And
Just
then
chop it up, just like the size about that.
okay. Cool. Simple.
Watch your fingers. We don't want fingers in our stew.
I should always so worried. I'm gonna chop off my fingers. Okay.
Okay, so next thing.
Is there a specific order?
Yeah,
you have to put it
kinda,
in?
because certain things cook up longer, take longer to cook,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, so this has been about 6 or 7 minutes. Add our seasoning.
To what?
To
To
this.
this?
Yep.
Salt? This? Or is that the
that's
sugar?
Sugar, show you.
Okay. All of it?
All of it.
How much sugar is this?
This is 1/3 cup sugar.
1/3. Okay.
1/4 cup soy sauce.
That's why I like it. It's lots of sugar.
And the salt.
How much?
1/4 teaspoon.
1/4 teaspoon.
after this is cooking for 5 minutes, then we dump everything else all in.
Oh,
and that's
nice.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
And cook it until everything is tender,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. And that's the end of nishime.
Is it longer the better? You know how like sometimes if you cook
Well,
stews really long.
nishime tastes better the next day
Mm.
because if it's sitting in the juices and stuff, it tastes better. So, see, it's boiling, so it looks pretty good.
Yum.
Okay, let's add everything else in. What is this?
The fish cake.
Konyaku.
Oh, konyaku.
Konyaku.
I know what this is. Carrots.
All right. Good
Carrots.
For you. Carrots. Daikon.
Daikon.
Burdock roots or gobo.
Gobo. Do I have to put the water in there?
No, not the water.
Okay.
The reason we put the gobo in the water, it turns brown otherwise.
Mm.
Yeah. And,
Takenoko.
Yep.
Okay.
And potatoes.
Potato.
Mix it up.
Here you go.
Mix it up.
Okie dokie. Ooh. That's looking good.
Looks pretty, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very colorful.
Cover it up. Cook until everything's done in there. And that's nishime.
Ta-da! Pour it like
Careful.
this way.
Pour it away from you.
Ready?
Thank you very much for watching our presentation.
Thank you, Grandma.
And love my granddaughter.
I love my
Marissa.
grandma. I will keep on the family tradition.
That's right.
I will. I
That's
promise. Nishime.
Nishime.
Right there.
Yes. Yep. All right, here we go.
Yay, professional. Right. You're doing this. I did. Okay. Are you ready? Yes. I'm like in your shadow. No, this makes me nervous. Greg already knows I hate being in front of the camera. But,
So just talk to each other.
well, I gotta talk to the.
You don't talk to the
Yeah.
camera, but this is a conversation amongst friends.
I'm trying.
No pressure.
Jeez. Okay. Hi, I'm Marissa Fujimoto, co-founder of Got this. I'm getting nervous. Okay.
Hi, I'm Matthew Kittaka, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make black sesame marbled mochi cake. It's a take on the Hawaiian butter mochi cake, and first we're going to start with the black sesame seed paste. For the black sesame seed paste, we'll be using a half cup of sesame seeds for every 1 tablespoon of honey. I'm making a double batch, so I'm using a cup of sesame seeds. First, add the black sesame seeds to the food processor and blend until starting to form a paste. Next, we'll be combining the dry ingredients for the cake. First, we'll start with 1 box of mochiko flour. Next, we'll add 2 teaspoons of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Finally, we will add 2 cups of granulated sugar. Combine well. In a separate bowl, combine the wet ingredients, starting with 5 eggs, 2 14-ounce cans of coconut milk, half a stick of butter melted and slightly cooled, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Whisk to combine. Next, add the liquid ingredients to the dry ingredients and mix until just combined. Transfer half of the batter to another bowl and combine with the black sesame paste that we made earlier. In a lightly greased 13 by 9 pan, add alternating scoops of our plain mochi cake batter and black sesame mochi cake batter. Gently shake the pan in order to level out the batter. Once it's leveled, use a chopstick to draw little patterns that will marble the batter together. Finally, we will place the pan in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for 90 minutes. And that's how you make black sesame marble mochi cake. Hope you enjoy and have a happy holiday.
Hello, this is Sam Mihara. This past year has been difficult for many of us, but this is a time of year to be thankful for our blessings. And we look forward to a much better year, so I wish everyone season's greetings and a very happy new year. Akemashite omedetou gozaimasu. Thank you.
When you spend your time digging through old records and photographs, you're bound to uncover a few things that are singularly odd. They're almost always so small that you could never build a whole talk or exhibit or article around them. And so they just stick there in your brain, tidbits of weird, arcane knowledge that you can't stop thinking about. I'm Dakota Russell with the Heart Mountain Wyoming Foundation. And tonight, I'd like to offer you a glimpse into one corner of my own warped mind. Join me, if you will, for the night of the Camp Santa. For Nisei kids, as the children of immigrants, the holiday season often brought as much anxiety as it did anticipation. Christmas festivities were fun and exciting, but could also highlight the ways Japanese American kids grew up different than their white classmates. It's a feeling that Heart Mountain Sentinel columnist Miwako Owana described in the paper's December 1942 issue. She also wrote in that column about her first visit with Santa Claus as a girl in pre-war California. Although she was nervous around him at first, she was soon relieved and overjoyed. The reason? She discovered that Santa not only knew, but could actually pronounce her name. Even within the barbed wire confines of Heart Mountain, there was Santa Claus. The government had a goal, after all, to pump these Nisei kids so full of American culture that there was no room for anything Japanese left. And Someone had to distribute the thousands of Christmas gifts that poured in from churches and other groups all across the country. So of course there was Santa. The only thing is, he looked like this. The staff here at Earth Mountain refers to this jolly fellow with his gruesome frozen death mask of a face as Camp Santa. And when he reaches into his overstuffed bag, he always seems to pull out more questions than answers. For instance, who thought this was a good idea? Didn't he terrify the children? And most importantly, were these freaky Santa masks something that the camp's administrators insisted on? They knew that the men playing the role would almost all be Japanese Americans. Did they decide it was preferable to have Santa running around looking like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre if the only other option was to have him be something other than a white dude? I wish I could satisfy your curiosity and my own. All I can tell you is that each block in the camp received a Santa costume and a mask just like this one to be worn while presents were distributed at the mess hall Christmas parties. Block 14 is the only exception that I know of. There, Santa was portrayed by actor, latrine-building boilerman, and all-around bohemian Arthur Ishigo, who had a habit of wearing his beard down to his belly button. He could play the part au naturel, making him the camp's only Japanese-American Santa. Now, I know I'm overthinking this. It was the 1940s, after all, and things were different then. These Santa Claus masks, in fact, were common enough that you could still find them for sale on eBay, if for some reason you hate children. And I know that, like everything else in camp, Christmas celebrations were buried in a tangle of bureaucratic red tape and last-minute emergency decisions. Over in Idaho, at the Minidoka camp, the volunteers on the Christmas committee planned to make their own Santa suits, only to wind up sending two incarcerees on a mad dash into Twin Falls when Montgomery Ward delayed their fabric order. So maybe there's nothing sinister about Camp Santa. Maybe he's just born of necessity and the norms of a different era. But he still sticks in my craw. I mean, it's enough to force these kids out of their homes and send them to concentration camps. Haunting their Christmases with this pasty-faced ghoul seems like taking things a step too far. Sometime back, I was visiting with Reynold Kagewata and his sister Jean, both of them former Heart Mountain incarcerees. And because my brain won't let it go, the conversation eventually came around to Camp Santa. There's a picture of us with him, Jean told me, at the Block 29 Christmas party. And I knew exactly the one she meant. It's the picture with the rows of kids holding ice cream cones, serenely staring at the camera, while Camp Santa lurks dead center. I brought out a copy to show them. Ah, Reynolds said, pointing to the innocent young boy sitting on Camp Santa's lap. There I am. Now, as you can imagine, I had more than a few questions. What do you make of this, Santa? How did he feel? But I tried to restrain myself, to let him remember the story in his own words. He stared at the photo for a long while, and then he said to me, I remember that ice cream tasted really good. To be clear, I'm the one missing the point here, not Reynold. When we talk about the magic of the holidays, we're talking mostly about the magic that we manufacture. This time of year is special because for a few weeks, we give ourselves permission to tune out all the things that worry us and keep us up at night, and to focus instead on the people we love and the good in the world. That magic is enough to turn Camp Santa from whatever he is into a friend. That magic is the reason Christmas can exist at all in a place like Heart Mountain. I think that's a lesson we can learn from as we find new ways to celebrate in this strange and challenging year. On behalf of the staff and the leadership of the Heart Mountain Wyoming Foundation, I want to wish the very best of the season to you and yours. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone. I'm Shirley Ann Higuchi, author of Setsuko's Secret and chair of the Heart Mountain Wyoming Foundation. I hope everyone has a fantastic and prosperous New Year's.
Yukimine no chikaku semareru ookata. Ryoken no kugurite otsuru eda no yuki. Yukibare ya hitonami tsuzuku kaseki ten. Shitatari no shishaku ni amaru ootsurara. Fune kogu ya yodami nagaruru kan no mizu. Futsu naru ya sei o marumaru to yukizukin. Takadai ni tateba yukiyo no kanbu no hi. Doko yara ni sanmi no narashi yukiyo michi. Yuki arashi maro utsu oto no yomo sugara. Wakamizu ni kiyomete awasu tanagokoro. Yuruyaka ni noboru kanbu no hatsu kemuri.
Okay. Wow, this has been such a wonderful afternoon. Thank you all so much for joining with us. But we're not done yet. We have another segment of baking treats with Ivy and Kaya. And Lisa Nakamura, who we saw at the beginning of the program, is back, this time reading an excerpt from her children's book, Einstein Rescues a Book.
Hi, my name is Kaya Jakes, and this is my mom, Ivy Suzuki. Hajimemashite. And today we're going to be teaching you how to make imagawayaki, as it's known in northern Japan, or obayaki, as it's known in southern Japan.
So imagawayaki originated in the Edo period in the 1770s in Kanda district of Tokyo, and it was named after the bridge Imagawabashi that went over the Kanda River.
And this is an interesting dessert because it's in a lot of ways a combination of Western and Asian influences and cultures. The outside is like a waffle and the inside is the sweet red bean paste. It's a dessert that's often seen and served at fairs and festivals.
Another way to make it is with a custard filling instead of the filling, and that makes it a little bit more Western, but it's also very popular in Japan. My grandma used to walk me to my preschool, and she would buy me imagawayaki from the street vendors, so I get to eat it on the way to school.
The ingredients you'll need to make imagawayaki are 2 large eggs, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of honey, 1 1/4 cup whole milk, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 14 ounces of red bean paste, and most importantly, the imagawayaki pan shown on the right.
To make the batter, mix eggs and sugar in a large mixing bowl. Then add the honey and milk and whisk them all together. Then sift the all-purpose flour and baking powder together and mix well and rest the batter for at least 15 minutes.
Next, you're going to make as many small rounds out of the red bean paste as you can, and make sure to make them a bit smaller than this because this was a bit too large. Next, you're going to heat the imagawayaki pans on the stove and oil each of the circles. Take a clean paper towel and remove the excess oil.
Now, let's cook the batter on medium heat and later on low heat. First, fill the deep circles of the pan 2/3 full with batter. Then, in the shallow pans, fill the circles with batter all the way to the top. Now, place the round anko or red bean paste in the middle of the deeper circles. Wait 2 minutes or until it's bubbling on the deeper pan.
Take the deeper circles and place them carefully on the shallow circles. Press them down to make sure that they stick. Now take the deeper pan and place it on top of the shallow pan. Turn the heat on the stove to low and cook for 1 to 2 minutes. And there you go. That's how you make imagawayaki. Enjoy! And now I'm going to ask my mom some questions. Mom, when did you come here to the US and why did you come here?
I came to the US in 1983 when I was 17 years old to attend the University of Washington. That's it.
What is your favorite Japanese holiday and why?
My favorite Japanese holiday is Oshogatsu or New Year's, and because I get to eat osechi ryori, New Year's food, and also my favorite, which is the Ozoni.
Mom, what are some Japanese holidays that we celebrate in our family?
In our family, we celebrate many Japanese holidays, but one of our favorites is March 3rd, Girls' Day, because we get to bring out the display of the girl dolls gifted by Obama.
Mom, what is your favorite Japanese movie?
I can't remember the Japanese name. My favorite Japanese movie is the Ghibli film Sento Chihiro no Kamikakushi, or known as Spirited Away in the US.
Mom, what's your favorite place in Japan?
My favorite place in Japan from my childhood was Ueno Zoo because I loved animals, and that was the main zoo in Tokyo.
And finally, Mom, what is your favorite Japanese tradition?
My favorite Japanese tradition is otoshidama, which is giving children money in an envelope. And I loved getting it when I was younger, and I love giving it chotto dake when I'm an adult.
Hi, my name is Lisa Nakamura, and this is my book, Einstein Rescues a Book. I was inspired by Beverly Cleary's Ramona the Pest. It was the first book I read as a child that had more words in it than pictures. So I wrote Einstein, and it has more words than pictures. The illustrations are done by my niece, Amy. She has brought Einstein to life, and he's very, very cute. Also, when you get this book, there are recipes in the back, so kids, you can actually cook with your parents or your guardians or your older siblings and make some of those cheesy recipes that Einstein loves. So, our adventure begins. Stale crumbs with a side of stale news, sighed Einstein Klein with a little squeak. He twitched his whiskers and wriggled his wiggly little pink ears as he scampered back and forth over the front page of the newspaper, atop the recycle pile, reading each word out loud. You see, Einstein was no ordinary mouse. Einstein was a mouse who could read. Einstein was a tiny gray wisper of a mouse with a plump, white, furry tummy and a very pink nose. He wore wire-rimmed spectacles to see better, and he always wore his red and green propeller beanie because he was sure the propeller's wings sped up his thinking. Einstein lived in a grocery store on the ground floor, an old brick building at the end of the block in Tiny Town. The grocery store had closed a half hour ago. As the last light in the store dimmed, Einstein and his family scurried from their home behind the wall to hunt down their dinner in the silent darkness of the aisles. Mama Klein taught Einstein to read. She was so proud of him. He learned his alphabet by singing little songs as he jumped over the words in the stacks of magazines, paperbacks, and old newspapers. Einstein squeaked out loud the sentences and paragraphs as he scurried across the pages. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I'm the smartest mouse to be, warbled Einstein in a sing-song, squeak-along voice. Mouse in a house with a grouse who just ate a louse, and cheesy wheezy, sure does pleasy, were some of the ditties Einstein made up as he devoured new words. By the time Einstein celebrated his first birthday, he could read the latest headlines about the world, weather, and movie stars. He could recite all the bestseller book titles. Sadly, he never got further than the first pages or book covers because it was impossible for him to turn them. He was, after all, a very small mouse, and they were very large. Mama Klein knew Einstein was smart and encouraged him when his sisters and brothers teased him for being such a nerd. Don't you listen to them, Einstein. One day you're going to do great things with your smarts. You're going to make us so proud of you. Every night, after the grocery store owner Kenneth turned off the lights and locked the doors, the Klein family left their den through a tiny hole in the wall. His siblings would scamper off, eager to find something to eat, sniffing for tidbits here and there. But Einstein would head over to the old newspaper pile to catch up on the news. Only after he read the headlines was Einstein ready to look for his dinner. Einstein loved the grocery store's cheese section the best. He called it Cheeseland. He spent hours there, nosing for scraps of Parmesan and cheddar. If he was really lucky, he would find a stinky piece of blue cheese, his favorite. Cheeseland was such a delicious place. Tonight, Einstein was bored with the old news and disappointed by an ancient cookie crumb he found wedged tightly in a corner. With a rumbling tummy, he scampered off to the back of the store to try his luck in Cheeseland. When he reached that magical place, Einstein noticed a young girl poking at the wall behind the cheese counter. She wore a colorful silk dress, so different from the blue jeans and t-shirts the customers usually wore. Something else about her was odd. She seemed solid enough, and yet Einstein could see through her. How was this possible? Einstein blinked and his nose quivered as he sniffed the air cautiously and placed one little mousy foot forward. Thanks for listening to my excerpt. I'm Lisa Nakamura. This is my book, Einstein Rescues a Book. It's available on Amazon.com.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in for the JAMP Holiday Special. We hope you guys are enjoying it thus far. And if you like what you see, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. The link is in the description below. And most importantly, if you like this, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That will help us so much. And hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.
Happy holidays from JAMP!
On behalf of everybody here at JAMP and Nikkei Rising, I would just like to thank you all for joining us for our first ever holiday special. I hope that you enjoyed the programming that we put together. And I would also just like to thank everybody out there who has supported us over the years. You've all been very generous, and we appreciate so much all of you and your support. And also, I would like to thank all of the organizations that donated their time and effort and content during Tadaima. Could not have done it without all of you, and truly from all of us, we thank you. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, I get to announce that our hostess, Erin, will be singing for us. So, Erin, take it away.
Christmas, let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us